One night in 1997, something screamed beneath the Pacific Ocean. Not a ship, not a submarine, not an earthquake. Whatever made that sound was powerful enough to be detected by underwater microphones nearly 3,000 miles apart. 3,000 miles. Scientists listened to the recording, listened again, then again, trying to understand what they were hearing. Some believed it was ice. Some wondered if it was something else, something alive, something impossibly large. And the strangest part of the story wasn't the sound. It was where the sound appeared to be coming from. A place so remote, so isolated, that the closest human beings are sometimes floating overhead in space. The ocean is different at night. Not the ocean you see from a beach, not the ocean from postcards, not the bright blue water from holiday brochures. The real ocean. The one that begins after the sunlight disappears. The one that stretches beyond the edge of reason. Most of our planet is covered by water. We learned that as children. But numbers have a way of hiding reality. Because what those numbers actually mean is that there are places on Earth where you can travel for days without seeing another human being. Days. No lights. No voices. No sign that civilization exists at all. Only waves, the wind, and distance. Somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, somewhere in the South Pacific, far from shipping routes, far from continents, far from almost everything, lies Point Nemo, a single coordinate on a map. Nothing more. No island, no harbor, no lighthouse. Just a point. A mathematical location floating inside one of the largest empty spaces on Earth. The nearest land is over 1,600 miles away in every direction. Try holding that thought for a moment. 1,600 miles of water? If you fell overboard there would be no distant coastline, no lights on the horizon, no comforting reminder that home exists somewhere nearby. Only the Pacific, ancient, silent, endless. The isolation is so complete that space agencies use the region for something unusual. When satellites die, when spacecraft reach the end of their lives, many are deliberately sent there. Not because Point Nemo is special, but because almost nobody is there. Old satellites, rocket stages, pieces of machines that once orbited the Earth, all descending into the same emptiness, a graveyard hidden beneath the sea. The spacecraft cemetery. Thousands of miles from the nearest city, thousands of miles from witnesses. Machines falling from the stars into a darkness already crowded with secrets. Then came the sound, the bloop. That was the name eventually given to it. A strange name, almost playful, as though giving it a harmless label might somehow make it less unsettling. Deep beneath the Pacific, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration had placed hydrophones, sensitive underwater microphones, built to listen. The ocean is constantly making noise. Whales, ice movement, volcanic activity, earthquakes. The hydrophones recorded all of it, day after day, night after night. Then, during the summer of 1997, they heard something unusual, something powerful. The sound rose rapidly in frequency, a deep underwater howl, a strange groan moving through the darkness. It traveled across thousands of miles across the ocean, strong enough to trigger multiple listening stations. Scientists examined the recording, trying to identify it, trying to place it, trying to understand what could create a sound that immense. And for a brief moment, nobody knew. That's the part people often forget. There was a period of time when nobody had an answer. A period when the sound existed only as a mystery. And mystery does strange things to the human mind, especially when it lives beneath deep water. Stories began spreading. Theories emerged. Massive creatures, unknown species, ancient life forms hidden in the abyss. The deeper the ocean, the easier it becomes to believe almost anything. Because the truth is, we know more about parts of the moon than we do about the deepest regions of our own oceans. Miles below the surface, there are landscapes no human eye has ever seen directly. Mountains, trenches, canyons, entire worlds concealed beneath pressure and darkness. The human imagination hates empty spaces. It rushes to fulfill them. Years later, scientists arrived at the most likely explanation. The sound was probably produced by ice. A massive icequake. The crackling and movement of Antarctic ice across extraordinary distances. No sea monster. No hidden leviation. No forgotten species lurking beneath Point Nemo. Just ice. And yet, for some reason, that explanation never makes the story feel less frightening. The real horror was the location. Point Nemo forces us to confront something most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Scale. The scale of the planet. The scale of the ocean. The scale of our own insignificance. Stand in a city and it's easy to feel connected. People everywhere. Cars. Buildings, voices, lights. Stand at Point Nemo and the illusion disappears. You are not at the center of anything. You are a tiny living thing surrounded by a wilderness so vast it barely notices your existence. And beneath you, mile after mile of cold, dark water. No sunlight, no warmth, no certainty, Only darkness, pressing patiently upward from below. The bloop may have been ice. Science is comfortable with that conclusion, and the evidence does support it. But late at night, when the room is quiet, when the rain taps softly against the windows, when the world outside has finally gone still, the mind sometimes returns to the sound. A noise traveling through an empty ocean, crossing thousands of miles of darkness, emerging from one of the most isolated places on Earth. And for a brief moment, before reason catches up, you understand why it's frightening people. The ocean will keep making sounds long after we're gone. The waves will continue. The currents will continue. The darkness below will remain exactly where it is tonight. But you are here. Safe, warm, dry. A roof above your head, a floor beneath your feet. No abyss below you. No endless Pacific stretching beyond the horizon. Only the quiet comfort of your room. Sleep well and leave Point Nemo to the darkness.